Hello, this is Patrick. Welcome to Chart Built Wealth, profitable investing with technical analysis. I wanted to go over my current buy recommendations, but also one of the buy recommendations, Marathon Oil, it was acquired by ConocoPhillips and that merger completed, and so it's no longer trading, and I just wanted to briefly touch on that. So let's get into it. Okay. Okay, first I just wanted to briefly touch on the overall market. So I'm going to use the S&P 500. I'm really neutral on the overall market right now, even though we're going into season to a very strong seasonality time for the market. But the reasons why I'm neutral is if you look at this bullish channel here, and you can see how prices are hugging above the channel, showing us that it's extremely overbought. And then on top of that, as we've hit all these higher highs in price, we've had lower highs on our relative strength index, telling us that the trend is weakening. So there's still plenty of things to buy, but would I go out and buy the S&P 500? No, I would not. Okay, so here's Marathon Oil. This was the initial recommendation after we broke out of this big consolidation, symmetrical triangle, and prices came down, and then they traded sideways, and then the merger was announced and it traded sideways. I didn't sell then because a lot of times mergers fall, not mergers, but buyouts fall apart. And so we were collecting a 4.5% dividend. And here was the purchase back uh, on uh, April 19th at 27.5, and it stopped trading at 28.55, and uh ConocoPhillips, so we had a 3.8% gain, which wasn't great over that time period. Probably did as well as most energy stocks, actually. But I'll be looking to replace one. ConocoPhillips doesn't look quite as attractive. It's kind of still in this consolidation, even though it's a really great quality company. So I'll keep an eye on that. And there's some others that I'm looking at. They're just overbought right now because they've had a few big up weeks. So this position is closed out. Copper, the ETF, CPER. It's become apparent that this is a ascending triangle with a flat top and an ascending bottom. It wasn't when I repurchased that. And so there still looks like there's a little bit more downside here to maybe the 25 level or so, possibly. We got some a cluster of moving averages coming together. They're not there yet, but the closer they get to that, the more it suggests this price won't do much until the cluster touches each other's lines and would give us a rainbow convergence. And then we'd probably see some action in copper. Copper's been weak, compared to oil and some other things. And so, the dollar's been strong, and that's affected commodity prices, but this still looks okay. I'm just not buying it right now. I'd like to see either it break above this cluster of moving averages, maybe up to 27, and then I'd add to my position, or if it comes down to 25 or so, I would be adding to my position. So still, I have a buy rating. It's just it's not one of my uh, most aggressive buys right now. And here is physical platinum, the ETF PPLT. And you can see, again, we're in a big consolidation. We got our stop down at 85. We're currently at 80, 88.24. So it still looks intact. Again, the strong dollar has kind of softened platinum, and so still buy rating, still not one of my most aggressive, but I like platinum over copper right now. FXI, this is the China iShares large cap ETF, FXI. And here's where we purchased it back on June 30th at 27.14 as we had this big blast off for several weeks. I was telling you to sell, 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 which I've done. Hopefully you did too. And then I've been buying, 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 and we're right down to our stop here at 29. So it's got to start taking hold here and turning up. So every day it's down, I add a little bit, and I still think there's another high coming. The main reason is as we hit this higher high up here, we don't have any negative divergence on our RSI. This is confirming that high, that it went up with really strong volume, and everybody and their brother chased it up here. And so I just think the weak hands are getting wrung out, and so I think this is actually a pretty good place to buy the FXI iShares China Large Cap ETF. This is the daily chart. So this is just showing like 6 month, actually 4 months of price action. And so you can see we got the cluster coming together. They've just touched the 19 and 39 day exponential moving averages. And so two things should happen right now. Either prices will stop declining and sit here until these moving averages come down and test, or we're going to get a retracement back to this moving average convergence. So um, what I'm looking for is a retracement back to this convergence, and that will tell us a lot. If it's unable to get through, we just had one of these in gold actually. And gold came right back up to it, sat there for a couple of days. If it can't get through, it promises a lower low. Well, gold broke through and it's been going higher. So we'll see if China follows suit. I think a couple of good things is oil's doing well, and gold and some of the uh, precious metals, and that's usually bullish for emerging markets and China. So this is going to tell us a lot. I would not be surprised to see a big up day or two. If it gets up here to the convergence, I will be selling a good amount just in case it can't get through. So, if I have 100 shares, I might sell 50 of them here, or I might sell 35 or something, maybe a third of my position. And then if it breaks through, yeah, I'll have to chase it, but I will do that. And if it comes down and hits a lower low, we'll see where our stop is on our weekly chart. So there should be some action on China early next week. This is Tencent Holdings. This is a technology conglomerate in China and a very successful company. And you can see the big symmetrical triangle over a 2 year period. The big breakout, here's where we purchased, and now it's come back down to test that breakout. Our stop is at 50, and right now we're at 51.20. So this is the same situation as FXI. Another energy stock. I didn't put our stop on here. This is XLE, the Spider ETF for energy. And you can see the huge ascending triangle, flat top, uh, upward sloping support line. It's been kind of erratic, jumping out. We were purchasing it here back in October. at 91.07. It had some weakness. Our stop is down at 86, and now it's broken out. And it's actually broken out of an inverse head and shoulders pattern too here, a smaller one. So, but our big pattern is saying 115. That's what we're looking at on XLE. It did pay close to a 4% dividend when we purchased it here. So this looks great. And I wouldn't be chasing it up here. If you look at it this is a weekly chart. Each one of these bars represents a week of price action. On the daily chart, our RSI is getting overbought. So we're kind of due for a little bit of a pullback here. TDX, the gold miners, ETF. And we almost got stopped out last week, but not quite. It was down, I want to say maybe a 0.5% or 1% below our stop. But here's the inverse head and shoulders pattern, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, breakout retest. Here's where we purchased on April 25th at 34.33. It's been a real grind going upwards, up and down, up and down, up and down. Our price projection here is 50. We got up to 44.22 back a few weeks ago, and then we had a big decline. This week it held its stop and was up almost 8% on the week. Doesn't mean we're out of the woods here yet on gold. So I'm going to be monitoring this very closely. Our stop is down at 36. The iShares U.S. Real Estate ETF, IYR. Big inverse head and shoulders pattern, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, breakout. We actually bought it. There was a smaller inverse head and shoulders right here that we bought on the breakout. I didn't want to wait for the larger one. And we had some real weakness here over maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. And it slightly broke intra-week, but was able to regain. And now today we got a bullish engulf. This past week we formed a bullish engulfing pattern where this bar, last week's price action, totally engulfed the prior. So that usually is a pretty good omen. This is interest rate sensitive, has a lot to do with currencies and the dollars. So it's been weak, but hopefully this is the start of something going higher. Our stop is at 97. So we're at 136 and our price projection is 112. Not a bad place to add some. Even NNN, the other REIT that one of the REITs that I had recommended that we got stopped out of with a really nice gain. It also looks good. And last but not least, my recent buy recommendation, Exelon, the utility. And again, this is interest rate sensitive. So this isn't my last. I'm sorry. I got fixed income after this. But here we are with a 2-year descending triangle with a declining resistance line, a flat support line. This resistance has now become support, and we purchased it here on the 18th of November at 39.23. It's down just a tad from there. Our stop is way down at 36 right now. The potential upside is 51, which is a long way up, and this pays a big dividend. I want to say it's 4%, approximately 4%. And last but not least, TLT. This is again a contrarian call. Not a lot of everybody thinks rates are going higher. Maybe they are, but we've had some success here buying, selling, purchasing at lower. We got a rainbow convergence coming in. So we had gold miners with actual gold with a rainbow convergence, and it was able to break above. Now we're getting one on fixed income, and our stop is way down at 85. This is the big bullish hammer that suggested that the downside was going to abate. This is telling us either we're going to get a pause here or we're going to get a retracement back to that convergence. And again, if it gets up here and it's sitting right there, I'll sell some. I'll sell, I don't know, 25% of what I hold or 20% of what I hold. And then if it's able to break through, I'll buy that back again. And so that's where we're at. It should be an interesting week. Thank you for watching Chart Built Wealth. Please like and subscribe. Uh, I think it's going to be an interesting week. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend. Adios.